Yes, we said no matter what happens, whenever you have something to change in the organization or any change at all, there's always one, there are hotheads. You remember the hotheads? The hotheads. You remember them? The hotheads, those who are opportunistic, 5 to 10%, who will always jump onto the change. So there will be always those. However, there are, in a change initiative, there will always be two early adapters. Then you have sluggards. Then you have late adapters. Then you have veterans. You remember? I think you remember. And we said the veterans are those who, even in the face of death, will never change. So you have resistance right from the beginning. There will be resistance to change. Right from the beginning. But there will be people who will be ready to join you in the change initiative. So how do you address resistance to change? That's where we discussed. I think we discussed thoroughly. Don't you think so? Can you remember what we said about resistance? First, we said to meet resistance, there is need for education and training. Once the people are knowledgeable about your change initiative, they will be ready to do what? To change. But if they don't know anything, they cannot change. Secondly, we said the employee input prior to change is very important, because if you are making something, if you are changing something and you involve them, you are enlisting about three things. One, that they should feel they own the change, right? Ownership. Two, that they should be willing to implement the change. And the third one is they should provide you with commitment to change. They should commit their resources to change. So it's important to involve your change agents as employees. Then when you have the initiative, you have done maybe the phase two, come to an agreement with everyone that really you need something to change. After that, include those people in the change management plan so that they should know they are part of the change process. If you come to an agreement and then when you are now managing the change, you leave them out, one of those three things will be lost. Either it is the willingness will be lost, the commitment might be lost, and also, what is the third one I mentioned? Ownership of the change initiative. Then you must support your employees during organizational transformation. What do you understand by organizational transformation? Can someone try? What do you think, madam? When you say transformation, what are you thinking about? If you are changing something, you are almost switching its configuration, isn't it? You are changing it. If you want change, it means something is going to change from one status to another. That is the transformation.
So there you're trying to know that when the organization is changing, that's look at its employees that they also have to change.
Yes.
So that they can suit you.
In fact, the whole idea is that That change initiative is not only the activity, even mindset, what? Change must be involved. I think late Chirima was trying to become an expert in the change movement. Then communicate clearly and frequently to people who are going to be involved in the change initiative. This becomes part and parcel of strategic management, and you cannot do away with it. It's part of life. Change is part of life. While you are here, do you think you are part of the change initiative? You, as you are here, are you part of the change initiative? Yes. If you are learning, you are training, you are getting educated, it's because you don't want to stay in a status which is behind. You want to be forward looking, isn't it? You want to change to something better. So it is a change initiative. Of course, some of the examples have just been given, but you can think of many change examples, many, in politics, in business, where else? Politics, business, church, sales. There are always change examples which you can think of. Maybe for now, let's just remember what we understand by change. Then there are 5 key change management strategies for leaders. The change strategies which each leader must have in mind. And these, it depends on where you are and what change initiative you want to put in place. First one, establish a clear vision. We have now already stated that a vision is a what? What's a vision? A dream. That dream should be clear, not murky or dubious or cannot be understood. It should be clear. If it is an organization, you must make sure that you know which direction you are going and what you want to achieve. The vision must be clear. The change must have targets. The change must have targets. And the best target for a change movement will be timeline. Timeline, when we talk of timeline, we are saying, okay, we want this thing new to change, but it should change between now and the next year. We should see ourselves at a different level. So strategic management is very much concerned with timeline. When they are making organizational strategic plans, they will have the short-term timeline for 1 year. If they can plan and budget for 1 year, they can then easily project or prorate to 5 years. If in 1 year we can do this, in 5 years we should be able to do 1, 2. You project or prorate. You remember what I said about projection and prorating? I think you remember, isn't it? Oh. Buyer, seller, sales. I think I gave you some examples. I said you have the y-axis and the x-axis, right? Then you have data. You plot the data. Let's assume this is 2024. Then you are now thinking this change should continue until we get to higher levels. If it goes like this, you know what it means. But if it goes like this, you know what it means. This is what has happened already, this one, up to here. Now, if you see trend improving, the next you can prolate for the next 5 years. It means there is growth, isn't it? But if it is going down, what is this? What is this? This is growth. This, you are failing, isn't it? You are failing. It's going to go down until you get extinct. The minute it gets up to here, it will be extinct. So organizations have got to be very careful to make sure that they grow. So you should leverage change in a timeline. Is it 5 years? Here it was 24, maybe here it will be 20, 28, 5 years. 29. So there must be a timeline for the change target. Then support your employees involved in the change. You must support them with what? What will you support them with? Again, how are they going to act or to perform the change? How?
They're going to implement the agendas.
Okay. I'll give an example. If the change movement is to increase productivity, I'm still repeating the same thing so that they can sink it. If the change initiative is in this company, we must increase productivity of staff. How are you going to make sure that the staff are increasing their productivity? You need to support them, isn't it? For them to increase, maybe for this kind of thing, for productivity, you may need finances, technology. Do you agree? Supplies. If you don't give them this, is change going to take place? If they have to improve their productivity, maybe you need modern machines for them to use to increase their unit production per person. And then ensure that effective two-way communication is in place. Whenever you are doing change, you remember the model I showed you? The model, the strategic plan model. You remember it? The strategic plan model. I'll go there so that you can see it. This one. You remember it? You remember it? So there is environmental analysis, organizational assessment. These two mixed together bring change direction, right? What you want to actually change. In this case, we are talking of improve productivity, right? Then you come up with a strategic plan on how you are going to change in terms of productivity. and then the action plan, the actual activity to be done. But we said there must be an evaluation, or we call it monitoring and evaluation effort, to see whether the plan that you had is really being achieved as you planned. If you didn't achieve, you must change. Maybe it's the mixture here which is wrong. The mix. Maybe the technology was not enough. Maybe the finances were not enough. Maybe the suppliers were not enough. I even said the time, isn't it? Maybe you didn't give them enough time to achieve the change that you wanted. So, skill will come in, yes. Skill will come in when you are having technology. Usually there will be knowledge transfer. Knowledge transfer. Sure, knowledge transfer must be. How are they going to use the technology? There will be knowledge transfer. The inputs, or what we call the resources, are these. But this resource may require knowledge transfer. Right? But your target timeline 2019. I said in most instances, people will plan, of course, and budget for 1 year. But after that plan has been done and you go through that 1 year, if it is going up, you can project or prorate. I think we agreed on this one. So let's go back. Resistance to change. Yeah. How to address change. That's where we were, and we are here now. Is that not so? So are we clear about what really can be done? You see, the last one is skill development to accommodate the change. What you are saying here, the skill development to accommodate this change. And this works very well. If you look at those 5 key strategies for change, you'll find that you will be on track. Are we clear on this subject? I think we are. Let's move to the next one. This one is saying information and technology-driven strategy. Information and technology-driven strategy. Even without having to look for an answer as to what it means, what do you think is meant by information and technology-driven strategy? Can you think of an answer? We are saying the strategy that we want, the future plan, the future initiative that we want, must be driven by information and technology. Must be what you call pushed through adequate information and appropriate technology. So you can't have just a strategy which does not have adequate information and which does not incorporate technology. Because if you want to change from the status to the next one, you may need both of those. Why do you need information, for instance? How do you, first of all, Information, where do you get it from? Where do you get information? Past experience, isn't it? See, we are here. Information will be collected from past experience. And this will be in form of what? Data. Is that not so? Data, you cannot collect data which has not taken place. It will be data that you collected in the past. So this information that you collect here will help you to say this is showing that we are actually able to grow. So you can actually formulate your strategy very well by seeing the trend from the data, from past experience. Let's see how we can unpack that one. First and foremost, we say technology-driven strategy refers to proactively developing and rapidly integrating new technologies and the use of these technologies in the new product development. If I had to say it in my own words, it is simply saying technology will be required to make sure we can develop quickly and use or integrate in the proposed technologies we are going to use in developing new products and services. Simply put, is technologies will be integrated in our strategy to come up with higher level goods and services. Simple. And then information technology, because these two, they normally go together. Is that not so? Information technology, IT, is a comprehensive plan that outlines how technology should be used to meet business goals. So IT strategy will be a comprehensive plan that outlines how technology will be used to meet the business goals. So when you remember the pyramid? You remember the pyramid? There's people at the top who are corporate strategy. You remember? Then we come next level is directional, or where you have directors. Then you have functions. You remember? It's in the functions. That's where you meet a lot of information technology, where you have technicians. Maybe we can still go back to that one, if we can, just to be able to link up. We can go back and link up. This one. I hope it is clear. This one will show, here is corporate strategy. Here is business strategies. Then here you have functional strategies. So technicians who will be responsible for this will have qualified, they will be having qualified knowledge and skills on how to use IT and incorporate it in the IT-driven technology, strategy. So this pyramid becomes some reference point which will help you again and again, because it tells you what these people are doing, what what these people are doing and what these operating strategies, these reach even a stage where you don't ask them to think. The laborers, you even produce books, mad procedures. Press this, this comes out. Do this, this comes out. He doesn't have to think. You press this, this will start moving. Press that, it's all automated. But the higher you go, you have to think. You have to think. And each time there is two-way communication up and down. If I were just to expand this thinking for us to understand even more, some of these, if you just keep them in your mind, you'll find that when you are coming up with the questions on how they are done, you will never miss. Usually we call it board of directors, then managing director, after that, the simplified one will have, this is the simplified so that we can discuss it easily. Managers, finance and admin manager. We have here, we have projects, programs manager. Here we may have operations manager. Can you see this? This is a simple organization. I'm making it so simple so that you can understand. These people are the ones which are at the top. This one is usually part of the top, but also directs or meets the day-to-day supervision of these people down here. Under this, that's where you have maybe sections or whatever you call them. Technicians. Under this, usually you have artisans or skilled support staff. Under you have semi-skilled or laborers. So when you look at that structure and you see this structure, they are talking to each other. Can you see? You can, isn't it? Yes. So when we talk of those people at the top, these are the people who formulate policy. These, he will be informed, he will correct the policies and move them down. So we call them programming. He will be in charge of making sure that there is programming. In programming, you have planning and budgeting. He is just in charge, but the ones who do it are these people who interpret. These people interpret the programs, to translate the programs into what activities will there be, okay? After that, these are now the people who are actioning, or I don't know what you would call it, implementing the programs. So these people will be implementing the programs. And that's where they have technicians, experts. Some of the people here have got what we call positions where they supervise others, while others among these don't have anybody to supervise. You have those situations. You have maybe one person who is an IT in the organization, but with no subordinate, doing everything himself. But there are others who are like foremen with 5 people or 10 people. It's here. Artisans are just support staff, additional hands to do the activities. So when you look at that structure, the pyramid, and this should help you to understand the organizational structure. So let's go on. Okay, how to address change. So now when we talk of what of information technology, what is it? So we are saying information technology is a comprehensive plan that outlines how technology should be used to meet business goals and objectives, right? We have said that already. Then, IT strategy must be a written document that details the multiple factors that must be involved in that plan. So, by the end of the day, we are saying that if we are going to have a strategy, it must be in written form. And it will tell us how the organization is going to invest in IT strategy. Before I go deeper here, is there anything that you want clarified before I continue? Why is the word investment seen here? Why is the word investment incorporated in that last statement? It's because of this. You remember what I said here? Technology, knowledge, and skill transfer. How are you going to do it? You are going to spend money, investment. If you have to buy new equipment, you are going to invest, isn't it? You invest so that you can achieve something better in future. Right? What's one of the most common investment that organizations have in their organizations? What is common in their organizations? If we said, list down what the company will invest in the organization, what would they be? Yes? If you want to invest in the organization, there will be a number of things that you can think of. Right? Okay, 1, training. Do you invest in training?
Yes.
Equipment. Do you invest in equipment? That's where you have even computers. What else? Cars, vehicles. desks and tables. What else? Aircon. Okay. What else? Security. Security. Yes. In fact, what happens the minute you start having this, you already have to think we must invest in security, isn't it? So, any change initiative strategy that involves technology will require investment in any one of them. So that's why they say it becomes a comprehensive plan that outlines how technology should be used. A comprehensive plan as a document. So you can see how many documents you have to have in an organization. Too many, isn't it? Plan this, plan that. But by the end of the day, all these are supposed to be consolidated into one major plan, which they call the strategic plan. Okay? I think here we are okay. Let's move on. Did we talk about adaptive strategy? Knowledge adaptive strategy? We didn't. In strategic management, this becomes an important element which must not be forgotten, in the sense that any strategy that must include an ongoing process and involves decision making must have in it information available which can be adapted. You know what we mean by adapt? Yes? To suit the environment. You can't come up with a strategy with a lot of knowledge, but it cannot fit in with our environment. No. We must make sure that strategy can be adapted to our own situation. And we have very good examples. I want to use what you call safe examples, safe examples. Yeah, this is it. In the past, I'll tell you what used to happen to us. In the past, one of the important things that they did in school, starting from primary school up to secondary school, is to say half, usually it was 1/4 women, uku men. They had the justification for that. What do you think was the justification? Why did they say in school, pupils, girls should be there, boys should be here? Why? I'm trying to use this as a safe example.
So they can easily adapt in the classrooms. Whereby if you intermingle them, some students they may not be flexible or to adapt the situation.
Okay. They had a very, very genuine rationale for doing that. One, the girls tended, I don't know about now, to be shy, isn't it? Shy, easily intimidated, and so on. While the boys, rough, whatever. Now, if they mix them, they will be disturbing the girls. Even the boys themselves will be disturbed because they will be playing with the girls. Is that not so? But gradually, they started changing the strategy. Why? Why did they start changing the strategy?
Because in most cases they will see like the performances of the two genders. Like maybe say that maybe boys were like active in class and giving out more information, and the girls were lacking, they were being told, so they were like being left out.
Yeah.
So to associate you in the middle of them, it will help like the knowledge like spread to the girls.
Okay. Have you ever heard of the word assertiveness?
Yeah.
Assertiveness? If you mix them, you are going to increase. First of all, there is an element of equality that boys and girls must feel they are equal to each other. Assertiveness, this will mean that the girls must be able to challenge the boys to say, no, we can also do as well as you can. They should not be told, sorry, you are the girls, sorry, you are the weak ones, these are the strong ones. No, 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 no. Equality, they should all be equal. And then gradually there were movements like women empowerment, girl empowerment, chan. So all that started now to shift the strategy from having girls one side, boys one side, mix them, let them have equal share of space, and then they can compete equally. If you tell a child all the time, you are very poor, you are poor in the head, you are not intelligent, and so on, and every time you tell the child, you will never pass, you will never do this, will that child ever come out of the cocoon of being weak in the head? No. But if you encourage the child to say, do it, if your friend can be number one, you can also be number one, you find that the child will excel. So that is one element of adaptive strategy. It involves gathering data at the beginning and developing a strategy to ensure that everyone involved in the process has access to the same up-to-date information. So what do? You gather that information, the information that is required for the change, accept it, make it accessible to everybody. So you don't share, you don't discriminate to say part of the information we can give to these people, but part of the information, no, don't give to this. No, they should all share the same information which is accessible by everybody. That is the important thing about that statement. An example is, it will involve developing knowledge management strategy examples and involve company implementing a kind of, here they are talking of centralized, it's just an example, but it could be even decentralized knowledge hub. And it will also require facilitating easier access to information and expertise. You can have a lot of information at the center, which if everybody has got access to. You can have that same information in a decentralized form, like in our case, in the district. At the center you can have, but in the districts you should have the information. And then that information must be implemented to facilitate easier access to that same information. Right? Finally, every organization is unique when setting out to implement a knowledge management strategy. What they are meaning here is that you cannot always copy what that organization is doing in your organization. You'll find that nearly every organization has its own uniqueness. It's almost like fingerprints. Are our fingerprints the same? Have you ever contemplated that my fingerprints would be the same as his, or somebody else has the same fingerprints? No. Same as the face. Do you think that my face is exactly somebody else's face? My nose, same like somebody? No. So every organization has its own uniqueness. This is why it's not easy to come up with information and come up with a strategy borrowed from another organization. You have to go through the process. Once you have gone through the process, the result will show how unique your organization is. Of course, we can borrow what we call examples to only learn how they did it, but not to copy and place that example on us. No, it will not happen. It will always be different. Some examples are adaptive knowledge. Are you clear about this? I want to talk about it as I am explaining. We are right. This one, this board of directors, managing director, managers, finance, process, operations. Then we have technicians. You have it, eh? Let's see now how we can translate that into knowledge. Okay? When we said we have finance and admin manager. What do you think will be the function? You remember the pyramid, eh? What will be the function of the finance and admin manager? What will be its role in the organization? Maybe that's another way to put it. Role in organization. Okay. Provide financial services. Which is the same as accounting, isn't it? What else? We are saying admin. Provide administrative support. We can always unpack each one of these. When we say financial services, when we come to the nitty-gritty activities, there's receiving payments, paying bills. Is that not so? Admin, filing, cleaning the office, the cars, whatever. Admin services, security. Is that not so? You are unpacking the functions of this one. Are we together? We are. Let's come to the next one. We had project or program manager. Okay, what do you think will be the functions of this one? Projects program manager. What do you think? Providing supervision of programs. Yes, okay. There will be supervision of projects and programs. Programs. You can actually unpack these projects and programs, which, depending on what your organization is, assuming it is a construction company, constructing bridges, this is the project. Mukumva? Constructing bridges. So there will be supervision of this. But what else apart from supervision? Monitoring and evaluating work. Is that not so? I'm making it simple so that you can see the distinction between the two. I've given two examples here, at least two examples here. Do you see these two being distinct? They are distinct. Are they the same? No. This one has his own role. This one has his own role. What about the third one? Operations manager. What about this one? What will be the functions? Providing transport. Providing equipment. Maybe providing supplies. When you look at that, our organization, which I gave you as an example, you can see that these three are different. Their functions are different, isn't it? So in strategic management, you will see that this one, whatever this one is doing, is contributing towards what the overall organization vision is.